Okay, so this question says, suppose that the total benefits and total costs from an activity are respectively given by the following equations. PQ equals 150 plus 28Q minus 5Q squared. And CQ was 100 plus 8Q. So this BQ is just the benefit from producing a certain quantity. The CQ is just the cost that is attributed when you produce a certain quantity. So the question says, write down the equation for the net benefits. So colleagues, remember yesterday, what's the form? How do we get our net benefit? How are we tabulating net benefit yesterday? Before I interject. Yes, let's see. Mr. Twalumba, how do we get net benefit? Mr. Manasseh, how do we get net benefit? Madam Walia, how do we get net benefit? Madam Juliet, how do we get net benefit? Colleagues, the exam is very soon, eh? Very, very soon. Uh-huh. Yes, someone raised their hand up as we're waiting for the board. Who raised their hand up? Yes, you can say it. Yes, Mr. Manasseh. Okay, here there are no cells. Here there are no cells, but it's the benefit basically. Okay, you less the you subtract the benefit from the cost. Okay. Yes, please remember this, colleagues. Should you see a similar question? Okay. So let's also have papers and pens because, as I said, the mathematics part of this course is very involving. So don't just watch through and then tell yourself, no, I've understood. No, get a paper and pen and let's calculate together because that's going to benefit you. All right, it's going to benefit you. So net benefit we call it NB equals total benefit BQ minus cost, total cost CQ. So it's 150 plus 28Q minus 5Q squared minus 100 plus 8Q. Q. So let's tabulate. 150 plus 28Q minus 5Q squared minus 100 plus 8Q. So give me the answer before I finish the solving. Before I finish solving. Okay. Because as I said here, the mathematics is a lot in managerial economics. There is a lot of mathematics. So you have to be comfortable with it. So I'll wait for someone to give me the answer, then I solve. Then I'll solve. Is that okay, colleagues? Where I wait for someone to give the answer, then I solve. Is that okay, Mr. Himonde? Is that okay, Madam Juliet? Mr. Manasseh, is that okay? Madam Karima? Oh, it's not okay with Madam Karima. Madam Walia? Madam Sombo? It's not okay. Why, Madam? Okay, and we need to also time ourselves because in the exam you have 3 hours. Okay, you have 3 hours. So you have to be able to say, okay, on average, this is how you even know that, okay, I shouldn't even attempt these questions on exam day because I take 20 minutes to answer these questions. You'll be able to gauge yourself and say, okay. Okay, by now we should have the answer. By now, should have the answer. Has anyone given me the answer? Anybody with the answer? Yes, Mr. Manasi, what is the answer? Madam Juliet, what is the answer? Okay, let me solve so we'll compare our answers. Okay. So first things first, you have to distribute this negative sign, okay? Because there are two terms here. So don't just write it as 100 plus 8q. No. So you think of this as a negative 1. Negative 1 times 100, negative 100. Negative 1 times 8q, negative 8q. I hope we did this. Did we all do this, colleagues? Always, okay, if you've got expressions like this and you're subtracting, always distribute the negative sign. Otherwise, you will get your answer wrong. Then the next thing we need to do, we need to group like terms together. Okay. So here, negative 5q squared hasn't got a like term. Okay. Then 28q and negative 8q are like terms. So 28 minus 8q, that you get 20q. You have a 20q. It's a positive since 28 is positive. You have a 20q. Okay. This negative 5q squared, we can just bring it in front. Negative 5q squared. Then 150 150 minus 100, we get 50. So plus 50. Colleagues, did we get this? Negative 5q squared plus 20q plus 50. Even though it's not in the same order, just make sure your 20q is positive, your 50 is positive, and your then negative 5q squared. Then we've got the same answer. Are there any questions before we move to the next part? Are there any questions? Remember, here I want to make sure everyone understands. Mr. Himonde, any questions? Madam Kalundu, any questions? Mr. Manasseh, Madam Walia, Madam Sombo, Madam Karim, and Madam Judith. Okay, the next part, it's what are the net benefits when Q equals 1 and Q equals 5? Okay, so here, colleagues, since you have already got the net benefit equation, okay, so it's just a matter of substituting Q equals 1 and Q equals 5 into your net benefit equation. Okay. Now, colleagues, what are these benefits that we're talking about? Okay, think of it on a like a company. Yes, it can be a producing company. Okay, because since we've got quantity there, so think of it like you produce things. So uh, what benefits do you think these can be? As I'm answering the question here, what benefits can these be? Okay, so we're going to substitute q equals 1 into the equation, and then q equals 5. So if substitute q equals 1, so our original equation is this net benefit. One of these benefits can be revenue. Okay, we're talking about benefits to the company. Okay, so apart from revenue, what other benefit can a company have? So we say when q equals 1, okay, so we're going to say negative 5. 1 squared is 1. 1 times negative 5, negative 5 plus 20 times 1, that is 20, plus 50, negative 5 plus 20, that's 15. 15 plus 50, that is 65. That's the net benefit when you produce 1 unit, okay? That's the net benefit when you produce 1 unit. Okay? Then if you produce 2 units, I mean not 2 units, when you produce 5 units, Q equals 5. Oh, not 1 square dish. Where I put 1. It's supposed to be 5. Okay. I need someone with a calculator. 25 times negative 5. Here we have 100. 20 times 5 is 100 plus 50. 25 times negative 5. Anybody with a calculator? 25 times negative 5. Remember, colleagues, as you participate in the class, even your exam stress, negative 125. Yes, as you participate, even the stress for the exam goes. Okay, I know we've got exams. I don't know how many are writing. Okay. So just interact, okay? Participate here so that that stress goes, so that you get an A plus, okay? Because few people fail managerial economics, colleagues, okay? Very few. It's not going to bring anything complicated. What is going to come is based on what you saw in your assignments and your residential test. Unless someone made him very angry. Did someone make him angry this year, Madam Marvelous? Did anyone make the lecturer angry this year? Madam Sombo, did anyone make him angry? Unless someone has made him angry, then you're going to find the questions will be parallel to what you saw or what you're seeing here. They'll be very parallel. Yes. So negative 125 plus 100, that is negative 25. Negative 25 plus 50, that is 25. So colleagues, what are we noticing here in terms of when we increase production? What's happening to our net benefits? When we increase production, what is happening to the net benefits? Anybody? Look at production is Q1, net benefit 65. When we bump up production to 5 units, our net benefit becomes 25. So what we can see there is as you increase production, the net benefits are reducing. Okay. Question 3, write down the equation for the marginal net benefit. So the marginal net benefit, we have to derive the net benefit equation. Okay, this is where we have to derive the net benefit equation. Colleagues, how many of us are conversant with differentiation? Because you're going to see a lot of differentiation in this course. Madam Marvelous, are you conversant with differentiation? Madam Mulenga? Madam Timpa? Mr. Manasseh, I remember you're good with differentiation. Mr. Himonde, you're good. Yes. Madam Marvelous, are we okay with differentiation? Madam Wali. Okay. So we need to derive this net benefit to get the marginal net benefit. The additional net benefit when we produce an extra unit. So those who remember differentiation, can you derive for me this before I get it? So in the exam, this is how you write it. Marginal net benefit, so that you get all the marks. Okay, it's the derivative of the net benefit function with respect to Q. You're deriving the net benefit function with respect to Q. Okay, meaning where there's a Q, you derive. Okay, yes. Those who have derived, what answer have you got? Yes, Mr. Twalumba, have you derived? This is how, colleagues, remember when deriving, the process is the same, okay? You multiply the exponent, which is this power, with the number in front of the letter, 2 times negative 5, that is 10. Then always you subtract a 1 from the exponent. So 2 minus 1, that's how we get 10q to the power 1. Are we okay with that, Madam Marvelous, Madam Walia, Madam Timpa? Are we okay with how I've derived there? Okay, wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Okay, then the next one here, this is q to the power 1. Okay, one thing you can just remember, if you have the letter to the power 1, just erase the letter, okay? But this is how the letter gets erased. You multiply the exponent with the coefficient, 1 times 20, that is 20. Then you subtract a 1 from the exponent, 1 minus 1, that is 0. Okay. Now you don't need to write q to the power 0 like this, okay? Because anything to the power 0 is 1. Okay, so there's no need to write q to the power 0. Okay, then any number that doesn't have a letter disappears. You cannot derive it, so the number disappears. So this is our marginal net benefit equation. 10 plus 20q. Any questions? Feel free to ask questions, colleagues. Okay, we're not in a rush here. Because if we do these things in a rush, I just walk you through all the questions, you won't understand anything. Okay? You won't understand anything. Okay? So we're not in a rush here, please. Okay? So if you haven't understood, you ask. Are we okay with this? Uh-huh. Okay, you can go to the next part. Um, what are the marginal benefits at q equals 1? Marginal net benefits when q equals 1 and q equals 5. Okay, so again, we have to see what happens when we increase production. What's happening to our marginal net benefit? What is happening to the additional net benefit? When q equals 1, here we have 10q, substitute it with 1, plus 20, 10 plus 20, that is 30. Okay, so when we produce 1 unit, the additional net benefit is 30. Can be 30 kwacha, okay, give me money. When Q equals 5, +50 +20, that is 70. Okay. So here, when we increase production, the additional benefit is increasing. All right. The additional benefit is increasing. Any questions before we go to the next part? Okay, part 5. What level of Q maximizes the net benefits? Okay, so remember, if you want to maximize net benefits, that's the point where your marginal net benefit should equal 0. Okay, if you want to get the maximum net benefits, it should be where your marginal net benefit equals 0. Or, as you remember from yesterday, it can also be the point where your marginal benefit equals your marginal cost. Okay, that's the point at which you maximize the net benefits. Okay, if you remember in the previous question yesterday, we saw that this question which we did here, we saw that where the marginal net benefit was maximum, or where the net benefit was maximum, was where the marginal benefit and the marginal cost was equal. Okay, where the net benefit was maximized here, 200 units, where marginal benefit equals marginal cost, they are equal. And have you seen marginal net benefit is 0 here? Okay, so if they ask you to find the point where you maximize net benefits, is the point where marginal net benefit equals 0, or the point where marginal benefit equals marginal cost? Okay, colleagues, should you see that on, is it Monday? So where marginal net benefit equals 0. So we can equate 10Q plus 20 to 0. 10Q plus 20 equals 0. All right, so we solve for Q, so it's a 10. This 20 goes over the equal sign, so this becomes -20. And we divide both sides. Let's wait, let me check on our net benefit equation here. 20 was positive. Oh, this is -2 times -5, that's -10. So here, remember this is -5Q squared. So 2 times -5, that's -10. Okay, so I forgot to put a negative sign here. So even this part here, we had to use negative signs here. So negative 10 plus 20, that is negative 10. Oh, that is positive 10. And then here, negative 50 plus 20, that is 30. Wait, negative 50 plus 20, that's negative 30. Yes. So here, when they're asking us to get the marginal net benefit, when we produce 1 unit, the marginal net benefit is positive 10. When we produce 5 units, the marginal net benefit is negative 30. So even here, as we increase production, the marginal net benefit is also reducing. So here it is negative 10. For this question here, where they're asking us where the net benefits maximized, when we equate marginal net benefit to 0, our function is negative 10q plus 20. Okay, so here we still have a negative 10q. So we divide both sides by negative 10 to get the value of q. So negative 20 divided by negative 10, that gives us 2. Okay, so net benefits are maximized when q equals 2. Yes. Any questions? Yes. Thank you for that, Mr. Twalum. Yes. So as you are calculating, it's normal for you to forget a negative sign and a positive sign. So as you saw there, I also forgot to put a negative sign there. So I would advise go through, if you can finish all your answers, please also go through your workings. Okay, so that you haven't missed a minus or a plus sign somewhere here or there. Okay, because as I said, the maths in here is too much. So if you are panicking or doing things fast, you will likely make an error. Or even sometimes you're not panicking or doing things fast. You're doing things in a normal way. You might slip up and make an error. So you please go through your workings as you do this. So are there any questions? So remember, if they ask you where net benefits are maximized, equate marginal net benefit to 0, or get your marginal benefit and equate it to your marginal cost. Okay. The other way we would have done it, if we were using marginal benefit and marginal cost, we would have derived each of these, derive the benefit function, derive the cost function. Okay, so in your spare time, because I don't want to spend too much time on one question, in your spare time, derive this, derive that, and find the value of Q. Okay, if you get a 2, then you're okay. All right, if you don't get a 2, send me a screenshot. We'll see where you messed up. At the level of Q that maximizes the net benefits, what is the value of the net benefits? So we go back to our function here. for net benefits. We have to find when Q equals 2, what is our net benefits? That's part 5. Okay, so part 5, our net benefit function, negative 5Q plus 20Q plus 50. So we substitute Q with 2, so negative 5 times 2 plus 20 times 2 plus 50. Negative 5 times 2, that's negative 10. Negative 10 plus 2 times 20, that is 40. So negative 10 plus 40, that is 30. 30 plus 50, that is 80. So our net benefits are 8. 8. Okay. So remember, this net benefit function, it's like a quadratic equation. Okay, it goes like this because of this squared here. So at 1 and 2 it increases. Then I think if you produce 3, negative 15, it will start reducing. From 3, 4, 5, it will start going down like that. So we maximize net benefits. Our net benefits are 80 when we produce 2 units. Okay, it's